Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Maya, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do this cool smoky glam eye makeup look. Okay, so we are going to start with skin prep because your makeup is only going to look as good as your skin is. I'm going to go in with the Thirst Burst Drops by e.l.f. and this is supposed to be kind of like a serum, but I mean you could wear this on your own, but it is super nice. I just think it looks really glowy. I am going to go in with the Whoa Glow by e.l.f. I just have a trial size here, but I love it so much that I also got the big size as well. This is in the shade Sunbeam. This is supposed to be a sunscreen and a makeup primer, and you guys, it really does give you such a beautiful glow. It is incredible. We are going to start with the eyes, and you don't have to start with the eyes. You could start with your foundation after you put all of your skin prep on. The only reason I don't do that is because if I have fallout from eyeshadow, I like to be able to like go in and like clean it up before I put on my foundation and concealer, but that's up to you. This is just what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the Eclipse palette by ColourPop. I always like to find the fluffiest brush that I have, and you guys, I'm not even joking. This is so gross. My brushes right now are really dirty. Yikes, it's not good. But I do have this like color changing swatch, so I'll just rub it in here and that'll kind of get some of the extra and excess eyeshadow out. It's so gross. I really need to wash my makeup brushes. This is your sign to wash your makeup brushes. Ooh, that's embarrassing. I probably shouldn't admit that on the internet, but here we are. First, I'm just gonna take I think I'm gonna take this really light purple shade. Oh, and this is also the time if you have any eyeshadow primer to put on, and I'm gonna do that quick. I know that I just swiped my eye with eyeshadow, but I'm actually gonna go in with this Morphe. Morphe just came out with this Solo Artist priming cream eyeshadow. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this on my finger. It doesn't have to be neat, just put it on. Get it on there. If you don't have an eyeshadow primer, you can also just use concealer. So I'm gonna go back in with that light purple shade and I'm using the fluffiest brush I have, and I'm literally, my hand placement on my brush is super light. For reference, this is the Morphe M330 brush, and I literally just go back and forth super gently, and I'll do kind of like little circles, you know, and just go back and forth like swiping it. So just blend that out the best you can. Then I'm gonna take a more like still a fluffier brush, but it's gonna be more dense. It's not gonna be as fluffy. It's gonna be a little more compact. I'm just color swatching and cleaning my brush because they're all dirty. This is the Morphe E17. I'm actually gonna go in, I think, with this lighter brown shade called Hey It's Jake. You know what? I love Twilight. Only read like half of the first book. I did not get through them all. Oh my gosh, if my best friend is watching this, she's gonna be like, you never read the books? I think she thinks I have, and I have not, but so growing up I was always Team Jake because of the movie, because of Taylor Lautner, and then as I got a little older I became Team Jasper. Anyways, I am just slightly going in the corner right here, going back and forth. And then same thing on the other side. I'm kind of just going like halfway up my eyelid back and forth. I'm going a little bit, I'm swiping a little bit back and forth in my crease as well. And yeah, that'll just kind of help add a little bit more to the makeup look and kind of add like a foundation. This Eclipse palette though is really gorgeous. But yeah, I'm just trying to add a little bit more to the eyeshadow. It's really important that you build upon your eyeshadow. You don't want to just go in there like crazy willy-nilly. You really do. It's like painting. You wouldn't go in with just one color. Eventually you would layer it. That's kind of the concept. And like I said, it always kind of gets a little messy, and that's really okay. Just is what it is. Like I have a bunch of fallout right under here, which I will clean up. So now I'm gonna go in with another fluffy brush that's slightly bigger. It's a little bit similar to the E17. This is the Morphe E22. And now I'm really gonna focus just in the crease of my eye. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Insane Thirst. Ooh, that's pretty dark. So I'm just tapping off the extra, because sometimes when you dip your eyeshadow brush into the pan, you get a bunch of extra product on there and you don't always want that. So now I'm just gonna go into the crease. You know, I'm kind of letting my eye almost relax into this, and I'm just swiping back and forth. And you can see the difference already of how that looks. And I'm just doing like little circles, going back and forth. Again, gentle hand movement. You don't need to be crazy with it. And usually too, what I like to do eventually is I like to go back in with that starter color. So that light purple shade, I'll go back in and I'll actually go like right above where I'm at and just kind of buff everything out. And also I'll clean up these edges, because every time I do eyeshadow, I usually get a little bit messy here, and that's fine, because as long as the end product looks good, nothing else matters, genuinely. So I'm actually going to go in and use the E17 again, but this time I'm going to take a different shade. I'm going to go in with the shade New Vampire. It's like this deep purple plum color, and I'm just going to go right on the corner of my eye right here and just go back and forth. Like I said, you're kind of layering. It's like a painting, you know? If you're doing a painting, you're not going to use one color. Unless you are and you're doing monochrome, but you would have different hues and different shades. Again, I'm just going right on this corner and just kind of going back and forth. Same thing on this side. I'm packing it and swiping it down and then going back and forth. I'm going to go back in with the Morphe M330, the really fluffy one. And I am actually going to take that light brown shade called Hey It's Jake, and I'm going to go right above everything and softly buff that out. Kind of going on top of that, and this is really just gonna help blend some of these shades together. Once you kind of get like your final glitter shade on and you clean everything up, mascara, eyeliner, all that, it just looks so gorgeous when it all comes together. But initially doing eyeshadow, at least for me, just looked like a child who got into her mom's makeup. I'm going to take a flat brush. This is a Morphe brush, but it doesn't have a number on it. I think I must have gotten this like years ago. But what I like to do is I actually like to spray my brush with setting spray. I think I'm gonna take the shade First Outsider, because this just is so gorgeous. And I'm just going to swipe it onto my eyelid. And I had so much fallout when I did that just now. That's why sometimes too, spraying your brush actually helps, you know, it kind of helps prevent some of the fallout. I'm just looking at this and I really do think eyeshadow just looks so crazy before you add, you know, like mascara or eyeliner, or like do the rest of your face too. Are we getting the vision so far? How are we feeling? I just went in with the oil-free Neutrogena eye makeup remover. This stuff is really, it comes in handy so much for cleaning up under your eyes. I think I'm going to use this L'Oreal True Match foundation. This is the shade N1. So I'm just going to, I am going to use a beauty blender. If you want to use a brush, go ahead. I think a beauty blender though is very, very beginner friendly for a lot of people. If you don't know what every brush does, or if you really need help with like blending things out, I love a good beauty blender. I especially love using a beauty blender for concealer, and I love using a beauty blender for cream blush. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna use this L'Oreal Infallible concealer. This one I like, but I will say there is like, it's the smell. It's the smell for me. There's a slight, like almost like chemically smell to it, so if you are really sensitive to smell, I would not recommend this concealer to you, only because of the smell, not because of the formula or anything like that, but just the smell. And then we will go ahead and blend. Leave me a comment down below what you guys were for what team would Twilight because I just need to know. And also I just was thinking about this when I was young. So my best friend's like I think 3 years older than me, but we like grew up together. She knew me like when I was born because her dad and my dad were like best friends, and so we've grown up together. And I'm just laughing because literally we went to go see every single Twilight movie. My mom did not care, But my dad was like, oh, you're going to see that vampire movie? He was so against it. He was so adamantly against it. Dad, if you're watching this, you're silly, but we still love Twilight. Yeah, I'm definitely team Jasper and team Alice because they are just iconic in every way. So we're going to do some cream blush and some cream contour. I'm going to use this Rare Beauty cream blush in the shade Worth. I don't know if they make the big size of this. I got this in a little kit, but it is so small, but it is such a beautiful shade. I'm going to use the Juvia's cream contour or bronzer, but this is the shade Buttercream. Listen, I love Juvia's so much. Like, I will not stop singing their praises. Anybody that I meet, I'm just using my finger because I don't really care that much. But yeah, I love Juvia's. Anyone that knows me knows that I just rave about them. I think they are such a good brand. The pigment is unmatched. It is literally unmatched. They don't get enough credit. It is so good, especially their eyeshadows. That's probably like the most favorite thing of mine is their eyeshadows. So I'm just doing a tapping motion for this, and I'm gonna kind of swipe up. Oh my gosh, look at all my baby hairs. You're joking, right? Okay, and then I'm gonna go through and just tap out my blush as well. I do love when my blush is a little bit up higher, but I don't mind when it's on the apple of my cheek. I think it suits my face really well. So, you know, if you like your blush on the apple of your cheeks, do it, but do what you feel works best for your face shape. I am a big fan of a beauty blender for blending, and I did wet this down, just in case you're curious. Wet your sponge down. Some people don't know that, so I feel like you gotta do like a little PSA. I think I'm gonna do my eyebrows using a Morphe Definer brow pencil. This is the shade Latte. So I just use a light hand and I kind of start right down here, and I just do flicks like over, and I'm kind of outlining my brow, and then light-handed just up and over and then down. And then I always use the spoolie. This is like what I love about this, is that you could really travel with this Morphe brow pencil because it has the spoolie on the other side, which I love, and you can just kind of help feather out some of that, you know, extra marks that you have. But go super light-handed when you do your brows at first. Just, you know, light-handed. Don't press down super firmly because then you're gonna have tadpole brows, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to have a nice feathered brow, light-handed. And then I am turning the brow pencil, and I'm flicking upwards right here to kind of get that, you know, almost like a paint stroke, like it's just a flick of the wand, Harry. That's not a Harry Potter quote, I don't think. Anyways. Alright, I think that'll do it. Do you guys ever like make faces at yourself when you're doing your makeup? I do that all the time. Okay, so I am using the Morphe M432. I'm going to take the same concealer that I used. I'm putting a little bit on the back of my hand. You don't need a lot. You need a tiny little amount. I'm taking this on my brush, both sides, and I'm going to gently carve out underneath. And for me too, I kind of want the concealer to almost be like a little bit dry. So sometimes I'll let it dry down and then put it on. And I like to go through and I like to outline underneath and the sides. Sometimes I'll do the inside as well, just to give it that like extra oomph. And either you can use the brush and just blend it out, or you can even use the beauty blender. And then I'll just go a little bit down into the side. But actually, I feel like when you do this, you're actually softening your eyeshadow a little bit too, which is really good. So I'm actually going to use my beauty blender. I'm going to lift my brows, pat down, kind of blend that out a little bit. We'll go back in with some eyeshadow too and kind of just like soften that. But like, look how when you pat down right there, it just like really softens that edge. So gorgeous. That is the biggest trick I have. And it helped blend that eyeshadow out a little bit more. So if you feel like crazy on your upper brows with the eyeshadow, do this and it'll save you. So now I'm going to do some powder, and then I'll do some brow gel, finish with my blush, and then we'll kind of finish up these eyes. I'm gonna go in with the Morphe pink powder. This stuff is really, really nice. I love pink, using a pink powder, because it just brightens everything. So I'm gonna take my powder puff, I'm going to tap into that, just tap right here. I love to carve out underneath where I would have put in the contour, just to really like snatch my jawline a little bit. Now I'm gonna go in with the fluffy powder brush, and I just lightly go over my face. And the reason we go back in with a powder bronzer or a powder blush is because when you do a powder and you kind of set everything, you know, it doesn't show up as much. Now you could leave your makeup just like this if you wanted to, but for me, I want my, you know, my blush and my bronzer to show up a little more. So I am going to go in with a bronzer, a powder bronzer. I'm going to go in with the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is in the shade, I think it's just the shade Bronzer is what it says. This literally smells so good. It smells like coconuts. I love it so much. I'm using an angled brush, tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to put this where I put my cream bronzer. And personally, for me, I don't love contouring. Contouring is a little bit different than bronzer. Contour is more focused on the shadows of the face, whereas bronzer is going to give you like that sun-kissed look. And I don't know, I don't really love using bronzer. Sometimes I will use a bronzer to contour, which is kind of what I did here, but that's totally my preference. There's a million different ways to do things, but this is just what I like to do. I'm going to go in with the matte bouncy blush from Rare Beauty in the same shade of our cream, and I'm going to lightly tap that on my cheeks like so. And just look how more like vibrant it looks compared to if you were to just use cream products. It's so pretty. I just love it. Oh my gosh. I love makeup. It's so fun. You can kind of just like tap. That's what I do. And I just blend it out. So I'm going to use this brown eyeliner from Essence. And I am just going to lightly put this on my lash line. I'm not really doing like a wing or anything. I just want this to almost enhance the way that our mascara is going to look. I'm not even going to the inner corner of my eye. I'm just kind of stopping like right in the middle. I don't know if I'm really feeling lashes all the way with this. I do think you could add a set of false eyelashes if you wanted to. I think I'm just going to put a little bit of eyeshadow underneath. So now I'm going to go in with this super skinny brush from Morphe. It's called the M213. And I'm actually going to take that same purple shade called I'm Switzerland, okay? And I'm going to go right underneath my waterline and just gently go back and forth. And that just kind of like helps bring it together. You know, when you're doing your own eyeshadow too, you can be an artist and you can decide what looks best for you, what you want to do. You know, that's like the beautiful thing about doing your own makeup, is that you are the artist, you are the creator, and you get to decide what colors you want and where you want to put them and how much or how little, and you get to create your makeup look. And I think that is such a beautiful thing about makeup, is that it is so creative. And I'm actually going to go back in with that very first fluffy brush that we used, the M330, and I'm just going to take actually this gray shade and called the Tent. Y'all know what the Tent is. And I'm going to go right through the top here and just super light-handed, just lightly buff that out. And I'm tapping off the excess as well, and this just kind of helps create just more blend. That's really all we're looking for here. I'm going to go in with this Revolution powder highlighter in the shade Dare to Divulge. It's very sparkly, very beautiful. It's like a rose gold. And I'm just going to go right here, kind of at the apple of my cheek, the high point. You kind of have to have some glam. You know, you sparkle. It's a tit soak. This is the skin of a killer. Hello. you have to sparkle. And actually, I think instead of using the highlighter for the inner corner, I'm going to go back into the Eclipse palette and I'm going to use the shade Proposal. And I'm just going to go in right here in the corner. Oh yes, this is so gorgeous. I love that. Ulta Beauty's New Heights Lifting Mascara, but I just literally rub it in between my hands just to kind of warm it up. I feel like it goes on better if you have warm mascara. I'm going to spray my face and then put some lipstick on. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. I am almost done with this. e.l.f. You did yourself a good one on this one. I love that it's a fine mist, but you do kind of have to be up close to your face when you do it. So when I use a different setting spray and I forget that it's not a fine mist, I like blast myself in the face and I'm like, oh, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to fix my hair and do some lipstick. Here is the finished look. Had to fix my hair because it was very crazy. What do we think? Leave a comment down below if this was helpful. But yeah, I just decided to kind of go with just a nude lip. You could really do anything. I think with this eyeshadow look you could do like a red even, or like a black, or like a burgundy, and that would look really cool too. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this was a helpful video. If it was, make sure to like and comment down below. Subscribe if you enjoyed or you just want to follow along and listen to me yap and do some makeup. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye! Okay, no, but for real, this is like, it's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's so good. So good.